Have you ever thought about what inspires you to get moving? Like, imagine a muse, not one just for artists, but one for your fitness journey. That could totally help you hit those health goals. I was on a call the other day, and we were talking about muses. For inspiration, for something that can really help you just not just stay motivated, because I think a lot of times people are looking for strikes of motivation, but this inspiration, this drive, this deep down way that you're going to tap into to just keep going. Because back in ancient times, muses were like, I don't know, let's call them personal cheerleaders for creativity, right? But let's spin that, and that's what I was doing on this call the other day. We were spinning it to be anything that sparks your inspiration, that motivation, that staying active drive. And it could be a person, it could be a goal, or even a powerful memory. Because why does this matter so much? Because, like I said before, motivation, it fluctuates. You know this, right? It comes and goes. And a lot of times, we want to, like, I'm got to get motivated. I just got to motivate myself. And we try to give ourselves a little pep talk, but it just doesn't click. So on these days where you're feeling low, your muse, it can remind you of why you started. And this could be anything. And I'll share a couple of examples with you today. It could be like that photo of you crossing the finish line, right? It could be, maybe it's your child's laugh, that encouraging laugh for you to play more. Or maybe it's a friend that's just checking in on your progress. So we're going to talk about that. But before we do, I do want to encourage you, if you are in that mode where you're like, gosh, I'm trying to motivate myself, I just can't quite get to it. Let's take a pause for a moment and have you go over to talktoperry.com. That's where I've created a space just for podcast viewers and listeners so we could chat about what drives you. And maybe together we can discover, if there's something beyond this podcast today, discover that fitness muse of yours. And because it's all about keeping your energy high, helping you recharge that mental and physical battery of yours so that you can reclaim your power and reach all of your goals. We do that in 15 minutes. Head over to talktoperry.com. The thing is, research, when it comes to muses, research has shown that having a strong emotional connection to your why can really dramatically improve that perseverance, that resilience, that drive to keep going no matter what. And I had to tap into this years ago because I kept finding myself on that start and stop cycle. And the thing was, the amount of time that it was going between when I would get started again, that was expanding more and more and more, and my waistline was expanding along with it. So I was drifting further and further off course, and then it seemed like, oh my gosh, it's going to take so much to get back on track. But tapping into these little sources of inspiration really can be a difference maker, or at least an element that maybe you want to tap into and explore on your fitness journey. And you know what? It's a wonderful boost of energy anyway to just tap into those things. So I was remembering, that just times where I was reflecting back, not to compare myself, but I was reflecting back to times where I was a little bit more in shape. I wasn't like dialed in, to do the things that I do now. But I was less heavy. I didn't have the beer gut, and I was a lot more energetic. And, that led into, hey, I want to go and do more fun things instead of I just want to sit and chill and not do anything. So I can remember tapping into those things, but I had vision boards that I started tapping into, and mantras that I would read to myself, kind of like an affirmation. And that somehow that would fuel me. each time, to get up and go. Even when I had those days where I just didn't feel like it, it reminded me of, when I was tapping into why I started this journey. And initially my why was I just wanted to lose the beer gut, but I had to dig deeper than that. It was way beyond just losing the beer gut, because that I'd been developing the beer gut for years, and what's a few more years? If I maybe eat a little, I would convince myself if I just eat a little bit better, maybe I just do a little bit of walking, and I would try to convince myself and make these little false promises, never committing to anything. So finding your fitness muse, it's about connecting to your fitness journey like in a deep source of inspiration. It's even beyond probably what you typically would see with a, let's say, a vision board. I think vision boards are great when you can connect a deep emotional connection to that. Not just, hey, I just cut this out because it looked cool out of a magazine, but where I look at my vision board now because I've been able to experience some of the things that's on that vision board. I can get into that feeling. I can get into that vibe. I can get into that why I'm going after that. And that can be with your health, your fitness. This could be for wealth, relationships, travel, you name it. But it can be that, making every step, every sweat, every moment count toward something that deeply matters to you. And that's where I found myself when I was trying to find an escape hatch to get myself out of exercising for the day. Or, I'd try to negotiate and say, hey, I'll just do doubles tomorrow or something like that. I realized that would accrue to more and more drifting off course. And I needed to reverse that. So I needed to have my showing up moments add up a lot more in my favor. And eventually that turned into a flow blown. Like, this is who I am. I just show up for my exercise. It's not a big deal. And I'm always striving to improve or do things that challenge me. But that didn't used to be the case. So tapping into those sources where it's like, oh my gosh, I can totally tap into this emotion, this definite deep level of why I'm going after it. And part of it was like, you know what, I'm out to prove something. I'm out to prove something to myself that it's really not too late in life for me to get going, to get in shape and healthy and really fit. And the interesting thing is I started creating little systems for myself, and that's a whole nother topic, but little systems myself, so I did show up every time. So here's 5 more things that you may want to consider as far as, maybe some of those helped, but just to help ignite and sustain your motivation and your inspiration on your health journey. One, like I already alluded to, was quotes and mantras, having a powerful quote that really resonates with you. That's one of the things, that constant reminder for you that way. Another one is a music playlist. I was telling my wife last night, there's this song that used to just fire me up and just motivate me to no end. And it's probably one that you hadn't thought of ever. But for me, I was playing, my wife and I were listening to it in the car last night. And I'm like, you know what? This used to be a song that I always tapped into for just motivation and inspiration. It would just take my energy and my level to a totally different place. I need to tap into that a little bit more. I need to create a playlist around that. So that may be one of the things for you to do. Getting out in nature. A lot of people suffer from nature deficit disorder. That is a real thing. You know what? Getting outdoors can be a really great source of inspiration for you. I mean, you can just feel the energy when you even just to go on a bike ride or get out on a hike. That can be a big thing for you too. Look at athletic heroes. Maybe there's somebody that just, you get one of those posters that you can put up that just inspire you. I've got one in my gym of Tony Horton. That guy really inspired me. He helped me, and he knows it because I've talked to him, but he helped me get through a really dark time in my life, and that was really tough. The other one are like personal milestones, reflecting on moments, how you felt when you're your strongest, your happiest, you're most alive, going to that happy place sort of thing. That can really be empowering for you. So, tap into these things and incorporate as many as you can. And I'm a big fan of not having like little one-off things. It's like creating an ecosystem around things that can help you show up, help you stay consistent, help you stay resilient when life gets tough, and persistent on toward your goals. And if you can use little tips like this, like finding a fitness muse in some of the ways that I explained there, that can help you dig into that deep emotional connection and really maintain that consistency, so you can have that rewarding, healthy, happy, fulfilling life, right? That's why I tell people, head over to talktoperry.com. Each conversation I've had with somebody, it's definitely unique because each person has their own life, their own set of circumstances, and their own goals. And I tell people, tell me what your goal is, and I will tell you how to get there and how to achieve it, right? So what is your muse? It's finding it and letting it guide you to your healthiest, happiest, healthiest. I said healthiest already, but you get it. We can magnify that, right? Just that really incredible version of you. So just know you can choose to use your power and take control and use these little tools that I've been giving you on these podcasts, or you can let outside circumstances and rationalization and justifying why you can't show up, or why you're not ready to start, or why you fell off the wagon. You can let all that control you and drain your power. It really boils down to deciding and committing to yourself and your goals, and really looking at possibilities, learning, growing, and keep moving forward. You've got this, my friend. I'd love to hear your top takeaway from today. You can drop those down in the comments. I promise I will respond. And I just want to tell you, you absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear. What's going on? I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day, I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to upsidedownfit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find the show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.